You summoned?
Monsieur Dorian, we have a task for you.
More fetch and carry work, I imagine.
2 master assassins are dead, one by your own hand in defense of a Templar. Count yourself lucky this is the extent of your punishment.
And Germain?
It's none of your concern. Last night, the Paris Commune declared itself an open insurrection against the king. As we speak, 20,000 armed revolutionaries are laying siege to the Tuileries. Even the National Guard are on the brink. Some of them have thrown in with the revolutionaries. France is splitting at the seams.
And this doesn't please us? The people are fighting for what is owed them. Liberté, égalité.
If we danced about on a simple scale in need of balancing, you'd be right. But the truth is more complicated. In putting Mirabeau's affairs in order, we've come across certain correspondences of a royal nature.
Mirabeau's in contact with the king.
And he was rather less discreet than he should have been. If the king's copies of these letters were made public, the Templars would be in a position to expose and purge our agents across France.
And I'm to slip in and find them first.
And quickly. The Swiss Guard are badly outnumbered. It's likely they'll be overwhelmed before nightfall.
Won't be the first palace I've broken into.
Ready? Aim! Fire! Good work. Back to your posts.
Honest quality of rhetoric amongst bloodthirsty rioters these days.
got you!
He'll fly! Wait for it!
Stay down!
What is it now?
What was that?
Not you! Yes, you!
You missed the last wagon to Austria, traitor! You're done! Get up! Back! Back! Stay away!
You certainly don't look like a blood-crazed revolutionary. The hood is a bit sinister, though, if you don't mind my saying.
Serving as rear guard, are you? Convenient how that puts several locked doors between you and the fighting.
Oh, I'm not here at all. Not officially, anyway. But how often does one find the opportunity to poke about in a king's private study?
Looking for anything in particular?
State secrets, private correspondences, personal treasures, that sort of thing.
I do hope we're not eyeing the same prize.
Name it.
Certain letters written to the king, ripe for misunderstanding, should the wrong men find them.
I see. Well, then perhaps we can help each other. I believe the king has built a hidden vault somewhere in here. If only we could find it.
You were saying?
Very nicely done, my friend. Incredible.
Find your prize?
A cornucopia, yes. And you?
Believe so. Yes. This is it. That should take care of that.
Then may I suggest we leave? Quickly.
What is that?
Our way out. Cover me, would you?
This is my patriotic duty! Christ, you will suffer! You die now!
You are a demon with a blade. Well done. Where did you learn to fight?
Got it! Mind the bastard! Fraternity's gonna be much easier.
Where did you learn to fight?
There you are!
Oh, Christ, that's bad. Where did you learn to fight?
Let's go.
Search everything! I want those documents!
Him! Damn!
Yes, Captain Rui has that effect on people.
Friend of yours?
A persistent thorn I haven't quite managed to pluck out.
He has information I need. I need to get back up there.
In this mess, you'll never find him again. Come with me, I have a better idea.
You handled yourself well back there. I don't suppose you've ever considered military service.
I'm not much for following orders.
Ah, the bane of generals and statesmen everywhere. An individualist. I know the feeling. Men like us have a great advantage over most in the army. You see, we can think for ourselves. If you joined up today, you'd be a marshal in 10 years, guaranteed.
A generous offer, but no.
Where the heart leads, a man must follow. Look me up if you ever change your mind. Bonaparte is my name. Napoleon Bonaparte. Second Lieutenant of Artillery. For now.
Arno Dorian.
A pleasure. And as a personal favor, if anyone asks, I was never here. Watch the whole thing from a furniture shop across the carousel.
A face in the crowd. Of course. What now?
Just a moment. You may want to take cover.
Everything all right, sir?
Fine, Corporal. Superb shot. Regular drills are critical to a regiment's success.
We should be going, sir.
We part ways here.
What about Rui?
Give me a few days. I'll see what I can learn of his current posting. Perhaps I can arrange an introduction. Be well?
This morning, I was accosted by 3 men carrying some poor soul's head atop a pike. Seems they mistook my uniform for a mark of nobility and demanded I shout, "Long live the Republic," to prove my allegiance.
I suppose handing out tricolor cockades is now passé. What did you do?
I shouted, "Long live the Republic."
A man of principle.
Life is more valuable than dignity. But this is what happens when you give command of the government to half-starved lunatics and command of the army to bloodthirsty savages.
Rui.
I wanted him assigned to some out-of-the-way garrison, but the man redefines the term friends in high places. He's untouchable.
But you know where I can find him.
Rumor about the barracks is that he and a unit of his cronies plan on marching on the Grand Châtelet this afternoon. If he were to meet with an accident, few in France would suffer. My career certainly wouldn't.
Well, practice your speech-making.
Get their weapons.
Nobody try anything. Come on, boys! Find me a warden!
To the guillotine for this.
No tricks!
This is inhuman!
Sons of bitches! Silence! Don't move! Watch them, men.
God will judge you. You can't stop!
Merci, monsieur. I don't know what unit you serve with, but thank you.
You can thank me by getting to the walls and stopping these killings.
Oui, monsieur.
Mess.
What do we do with the bodies?
Hey, leave them. Get up. What are you waiting for? More
Damn traitor!
Hold fast, men! Cut them down!
Protect the prisoners!
Death to the traitors! Beat them back! Vive la Révolution!
Steady! Into the breach!
Hold that line!
Finally got just what you deserve. My regards, Dad.
Strange,
Anyone else? He's on the roof. Lad. Come on, boys. I will make you pay!
Damn traitor! Can't wait
Look, Warden! Your brother's here to visit. But don't you want to see him?
Moderate scum!
Come now, Warden. Let's have a cheer.
That's it! Stick him in the back! Oh. To all enemies of liberty! Bloody hell! After it! Bleeding! Bloody hell! Go! I'll make you pay!
I've got you!
No! We've got you!
If you have orders to remove us from this hall, you must also get authority to use force. For we shall yield to nothing but bayonets!
But to administer is to govern. To govern is to reign. That is the essence of the problem.
Mr. Mirabeau. Pathetic, isn't it?
Surely, France deserves better.
What was that? Roy, clean up your mess. It's time.
Told you I could make him talk.
You've done well, Captain. Breathe.
The price of grain is higher than ever, Grandmaster. Our agents are in place to divert the shipments to our docks. They wait only your command.
Good. Starve them. Through famine and fury, they will see their false masters for what they are, but do it gradually.
What you're asking will take at least a year, Grandmaster. If not two.
Serait-ce une espèce de jeu?
À prix sacrifié, aujourd'hui seulement.
What do you know about grain merchants?
Good to see you too. Most of them are very poor just now. Why?
I have a lead on Germain. He has a woman named Marie buying up grain shipments and diverting them to a private dock.
Marie Levesque?
You know her?
The Levesques have been Templars since the Third Crusade. Marie was the only one who argued against Germain's exile, and not surprised she's thrown in with him.
Any idea where we might find her?
Not her, no. But what little grain makes it to Paris these days is unloaded at the Hôtel de Ville docks.
Promising. I'll start there.
Perhaps I can learn something of Madame Levesque's whereabouts.
Hey! Come back here! You've missed the key, you dolts! Where are you going?
Time to chase a boat.
Pull! 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 Row, goddamn you! Heave to! Tie off the bowline!
Captain! Any problems?
No, madame.
You have your orders?
Here, madame.
Good. And I'm instructed to tell you to make certain one of the bags leaks.
Yes, madame. Get to work!
I hope you've got a horse nearby. You can't outrun me. There! I'll make you short for that.
You all clear off, now! Drop in the pace, dead man! I don't give up, you holy spot! Mine, I know. You fight. Interloper, run the hell
Palais Luxembourg. And what are you up to there? You were right. Marie Lévesque had men unloading the barges and taking the grain to the Palais du Luxembourg.
If the people think the royal family has been hoarding food in a time of famine...
Bedlam. Just the sort of thing Germain seems to thrive on.
Madame Lévesque is yours. I'll find the stolen grain and try to get it out of there before anyone finds it.
Stay out of trouble. Don't get caught.
Help! Help! Someone help me! Hand over the powder!
What will we do, Michel?
If I could only get my hands on that guard.
Lovely party. You've outdone yourself this time.
Merci. Now pray excuse me, I need to see to my husband.
Someone, please! Don't make us hurt you! Let's go, old man. I'll have your egg for that. Do you understand the word?
You can't stop us.
Merci, monsieur.
Are you all right?
Garde! Garde! Il y a eu un meurtre ici!
Far be it from me to ignore an artist in
You will be
need.
sent to the galleys. That was only a loaf of bread.
Every man in here is convicted of the same. Or less.
This is what they call justice, then.
Come on! Come on! You won't bloody lose me!
There you!
Seigneur, mais que c'est...
I'll fit you, turtle! Need a You will pay for that!
Just get me out of here!
I have a family!
Freedom!
Get the bastards!
Anything you want! Just let me out!
Godspeed, citizen. What cheer?
Free us!
Go! Go!
You are well, citizen?
Remember what I taught you, Marie?
Oui, maman.
Francois Thomas Germain, for your crimes against the Templar Order, you are cast out. Let any man offering succor to the exile share his fate.
Fool. Dumoulin speaks to me. Now it's mine, de la Serre! De la Serre!
Milady, you have a caller.
I need your help, Marie.
You were right. King Louis's been talking to all sorts he shouldn't have. Plotting against the revolution out of one side of his mouth, while he promises to support the Constitution out the other.
Good. I trust you can get this information into the proper hands, Monsieur le Pelletier.
Of course, Grandmaster. With this evidence in hand, the King's conviction is certain.
L'œuvre fondatrice qui a bouleversé notre